So hello and welcome to David Speaks, my YouTube channel. Um, so we are in the midst of great series which is about to start. The old rivals Australia versus England. From tomorrow, 3 ODI match series, and in Australia. So I'm going to do a basic preview of this series now. Well, last time when these two sides played, uh, the series was in 2020, September 2020. Australia won it 2 games to 1 in England. Last time these two teams played in Australia was a 5 match series, and England won it 4 games to 1. Well, slightly surprising, but yeah, 4 games to 1. That's true. Um, Now, what is in this series? Firstly, the bad thing for the series, which is on the Australian side of things, um, that Glenn Maxwell is injured. Yeah, he actually fractured his leg, so that's a blow to Australia. So that's a kind of an advantage to England. Um, and Sean Abbott, who's a good cricketer, is his replacement. And now I am going to tell you top 3 players to watch out for in this series from both the sides. Let's start from Australia. I think David Warner, he's someone to watch out for in this series, definitely. Stephen Smith, he's been quite. He's been actually very quiet in the recent times. He's someone to watch out for. He's a big match player, and I won't be surprised if he gets runs. And and Marnus Labuschagne, I think he's someone who's getting a go after a while now. Since in New Zealand series, he hasn't got a go, and I think he's the best friend of Steve Smith, and they both love batting and they both love cricket. So he's also a run machine, just like Steve Smith. I think he'll also get amongst it in this series. For England, Jason Roy is coming back. He's a dynamic opener. Um, so he's someone to watch out for. Obviously, when he plays in form, he is very hard to stop. And last time when he, was in Australia, he had a series to remember. And I still remember that first ODI's 180 in Melbourne. With Australia scored well. I think it was 304, but England chased it. I think in 48 point few overs. So he scored 180 in that. So when he goes big, he just goes. So you know he's someone who can be amongst the runs. Then James Vince coming back in the team. He's a very good young player. Not young, he's relatively experienced now, but he doesn't get that much chances. Then he would like to, put a stamp on on stamp on his place in the team by performing well over here in Australia. Is an opposition that he really likes. Uh, so that he really likes. So, and then Josh Butler, he is someone. He is someone who's really a player to watch out for. I think he's coming after a T20 World Cup win. He played really well in the series before that against Australia, the T20 series, and I think he was a player of the series in that year. So now I think he's a player to watch out for as well. Although last time when these two teams played in England and Australia won, he remained fairly quiet. But in Australia when they played in 2018, he I think scored that memorable 100 in at the SCG. Australia were on top, but he wrestled the momentum back, and I think England won the game as well, and they won the series by that game. So he's a player to watch out for, definitely. Then I think, okay, I'll tell you three more. Moeen Ali from England, Mark Wood, and Chris Wilkes are the other three. And from Australia, I think Mitchell Starc, Adam Zampa, who was a genuine wicket taker, just like Mark Wood for England, or Adil Rashid for England, or Moeen Ali. He's Zampa is the same. Then, then the third one I believe is uh, definitely going to be Moeen Ali for England. As I said, he's a batsman and he can bowl a few overs. He's a very dynamic batsman. Then Starc, Zampa, and as well I think as Pat Cummins. His captaincy, well, he's going to be a talking point. His first ODI series as captain, that too against England. Um, so that's going to be a kind of a pressure, or I think a test for him, not a pressure, test for him, that how well can he handle the pressure. Because test, when you're captaining a test team, you have that time to make decisions. It's a 5-day game, you have that time. But in 1-day cricket, you need to make a decision swiftly, and well, not as swiftly as T20 cricket, but even in 1-day cricket, one decision can make or break the game. So that's something that Cummins will be tested. Let's see how he comes up with the test. And one player which is missing from the last time that these two teams played in the ODIs is Joe Root. He actually, last time when they toured Australia for an ODI series, he was their most consistent player. I think he was the man of the series, and that was Joe Root. And even in 2020, although he remained quiet, but he played in that series as well, and he's someone who's not a part of their 1-day team anymore. Well, he's not retired, but England are looking beyond him since they since their approach is a bit different now. It's a very different approach now. And another one who's been missed in this series is the English captain, Owen Morgan. Last time these two teams played, Owen Morgan was the captain. Even in Australia when they won 4-1, and even in England when they lost 2-1, Owen Morgan was the captain. Um, Morgan played well in Australia in 2018, but remained quiet in England recently in 2020. It's not recently, but last time when these two teams played, so yeah, recently. And for Australia, Glenn Maxwell, as I said, last time when these two teams played, I think he was the man of the series. And I remember that the 100 that he scored in the decider, Australia were I think 80, 83 for 5 or 86 for 5. But then a partnership between him and Alex Carey, he means Glenn Maxwell. It was a terrific partnership. I think 200-run partnership, more than 200-run partnership, and that got Australia to an unlikely win. And I think both of them scored hundreds, and Maxwell scored a 75 when Australia were in trouble in the first game of that series as well, when Australia won. So the first and third game that Australia won, Maxwell got runs in that. And even Alex Carey has some good memories of playing against England in ODI series. He also scored a terrific 100 with Glenn Maxwell, as I said, in the match-winning partnership in the decider of that series. So the predictions, I think it's very hard to predict who's going to win. Both are equally strong sides. But Australia at home, I think I'll go with Australia, 2-1. For me, Australia will win this series. Yeah, 2-1. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, like and share with your friends. Thank you. Can't wait for the series to start.